never forget my first time watching Dragon Ball Z. It was the late 90s and I was in the kitchen watching it on television. I can still remember being bewildered by the talk about sending people into the next dimension, and Kamehamehas and other energy beams, and the incredible characters of Goku and the other Z fighters. All I could think about is how awesome a Dragon Ball Z video game would be. And little did I know the Dragon Ball series was actually older than I was, and that they already had their fair share of video games already. Today, we will take a look at a few of those early Dragon Ball titles. First game on our list, Dragon Ball Z Hyperdimension for the Super Famicom. As you guys can probably tell, it's a fighting game, a 2D fighting game with amazing graphics in my opinion. It was released in 1996 in Japan and I believe 1997 in Europe. In the story mode, you will face enemies from the three main sagas in the Dragon Ball Z timeline. As you can see here, you will face Frieza, Perfect Cell, and various forms of Majin Buu. Like in every fighting game in all of existence, your goal is to get your enemy's health to 0. The only difference is that your health and your opponent's health is based off the number at the top left or the top right of the screen. One thing that I really like about this game, and that adds a lot of strategy, is that if you power up, you actually regenerate health. It's only 6 HP at a time, but it's very useful and very cool. Now on to what I don't like about this game, and that's mainly the air battles. It's not the air battles themselves because they look really nice. The earth revolving underneath you looks really good. It's the way your character attacks. It's so slow and so unresponsive. I feel like my controller's broken when I was doing it. I just don't understand why Goku would attack slower in the air when he's able to fly and move around freely than he would on the ground being restricted by gravity. That just doesn't make sense to me. But that's just me. Maybe I just suck at the air battles. Let me know in the comments below. Back to the positives here. The versus mode is a lot of fun. You can play against a computer or a friend if you have those. I do not, so I'm playing against a computer, and there's 10 characters to choose from, and they're all a little bit different, and all their sprites look fantastic. I used to play this game on an emulator back in the day, back on my PC in 8th grade, and I am very happy that I finally own the cartridge and I can play it on my TV and be happy with this game. It's a great game, so pick it up. I bought it for about $20. I had to import it from Japan, but I think it's totally worth it. The next game on our list is Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22 for the Sony PlayStation. Why Ultimate Battle 22, you might ask? Why not 21? Why not 23? Because it has a whopping 22 playable characters. Wow! 22? Wow! That's incredible! That's so many people to choose from. So much replay value. It's incredible. I'm going to play this game till I die. It's probably so great. Well, it's not. The biggest problem I have with this game is how generic it feels, and the floating mechanics and everything about this game is just super mediocre and borderline bad. This is one of those games that won't hold your attention for very long. I know this because it didn't hold my attention for very long. I was only playing for half an hour and it felt like an eternity. They can't even get simple fighting game stuff down. Like normally when you start a fight, it says fight or go. As you can see here, it just throws you in. There's no indication that the fight is started or not. Now for the graphics, the backgrounds are all 3D rendered, and I feel like they look kind of bad and muddy and kind of ugly and uninteresting. The character sprites are actually done by the animators of the television show, which is pretty awesome and provides that authentic feel of a Dragon Ball Z fight. An interesting thing to note about this game is that in Japan, this game was released in 1995. But us North Americans had to wait all the way till 2003 to play this amazing game. Just kidding. I was really bummed out when I got this game. I think I paid $30 for it back then, and I want almost all my money back. One thing I thought that was really neat about this game, though, is that if you enter a certain code, you unlock 5 more characters, and the game becomes Ultimate Battle 27. Which, if you didn't think 22 was enough, 27 is clearly better than 22. I mean, let's be honest here. You'll unlock some characters like Master Roshi, Kid Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and amongst some others as well. And the last thing I'll say about this game that really bothered me is that this is not Vegito, this is Gogeta. Sorry, it just bugged the heck out of me and I had to say it. Now, I can't recommend this game at all, but if you are a Dragon Ball Z fan who needs to have every game, this is probably bottom of the barrel for you to get. But if you liked what you see here, feel free. Buy it. Go right ahead. I won't stop you. Don't say I didn't warn you, though. The next game we're going to look at is not even a Dragon Ball Z game. It's a Dragon Ball GT game called Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for PlayStation. And I already like this game better than Ultimate Battle 22 because it tells you when the fight starts. Simple as that. This is the first 3D fighting game in the Dragon Ball series ever, which is awesome. But what's not awesome is the sluggish controls and how long it takes your character to turn around and to make a freaking attack. Now, this game is not a good fighting game for one main reason. If you or your opponent gets hit back, it interrupts the action. A good fighting game is all about fluidity and chaining combos together, and I can't seem to do that with this game. This is actually the one game on this list that was actually released in North America. It was released back in 1997, and I actually have the reprint copy from 2004. If you guys like the look of this game, definitely try it out. I just really suck at it, so I really don't like it. It is better than Ultimate Battle 22, though, so I'll give it that. The last game on our list was released only in Japan and Europe, called Dragon Ball Z: The Legend for the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation. This is going to be the Sega Saturn version. This is clearly the most unique game on this list with a very interesting concept. The only way to damage your opponent is to get the power balance meter on the bottom completely blue on your side, or for the opponent completely red. When the meter is either blue or red, you or your opponent will unleash a devastating Meteor attack that causes extreme damage. Well, it's the only way to cause damage in this game, but it's pretty cool to look at. Take a look. Now, the yellow bar up top, that is your energy. If that gets depleted, you will freeze and you will be left very vulnerable to your opponent's attacks. But luckily, you can recharge it fairly quickly, but you'll be doing that a lot, so you won't freeze. Now, the controls took some time to get used to, but eventually I got the hang of it, and kicking your opponent around the 3D arena was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. As you can see, there's 3D environments and 2D sprites, and I think they did a great job recreating the awesome aspects of the show that we liked so much. I really like the look of the special attacks. I think they look awesome and devastating, like they should. Now, story mode is really cool. I like the way they presented it, and there's even narration. Another really cool aspect about this game as well is that it's not just one-on-one fighting. There are team elements as well. As you can see, I'm Krillin on a team with Gohan, and I can switch them up mid-fight. So if I wanted to be Gohan for a little bit, I can be Gohan. I really, really, really like this game. This is actually one of the games that I had a friend in middle school who recorded games onto a VHS cassette tape, if you guys know what those are. This is one of the games, he played the entire game and recorded it for me on my VHS tape, along with Final Bout. So that's my first impressions of those games, was all the way back then. And luckily, now I finally have the ability to play them, which is awesome. I can highly recommend this game for you guys. It's very fun. There's really no flaws. The controls will take a little bit to get used to, but once you guys get the hang of that, you guys will have no problem having fun with this game. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video was a lot of fun to make. I'm thinking about making a second one, probably going to happen. Which games should I include in that? And which games were your favorite Dragon Ball series games? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. My goal is to get to 100 subs by the end of this year. I think I can do it. At this point, I think I'm at 57. So help a guy out. You know, it'll be a lot of fun to be at 100. Thank you so much for watching again, and take care.